Recording is on.
Okay, so we're in Bitcoin Core app call number 42 here. General project catch up. A couple people are not in here today, but we still have a few things to talk about. And just wanted to draw attention to Gerald's awesome AI generated, which is really text to image synthesis. Sounds way less fancy, but it's amazing work there. And you can also work with him on that in the Designathon. He's starting a project on that if you're interested, which I am. So what today, Shashwat, Gerald had mentioned that you'd like to talk about, you might have something to talk about regarding the BlockLog implementation. Is that right?
Kind of, you can say yes. I have finally posted the branch,
Mhm.
but Harold reviewed it and he told me that it's too low level coding for now. So
Okay.
I have to get rid of all the low level things before because he mentioned that there is an interface for chains as well. So I might use that instead of going directly and kind of getting the chain values from the node itself. So that might avoid the low level coding of that I have done currently.
Okay. So is it, do you think you still have to change stuff on the UI layer or it's really just a level below?
It's a level below,
Mhm.
but on the UI level, the final output might not change, but I have to change the QML files. I have to change the
Yeah.
architecture of it, like how I've arranged the control and the component.
Mhm.
So I might have to change that also.
Yeah.
But the final result, the block log is ready.
Mhm.
Like it looks good.
Great. So
Alright.
we can actually test that PR and it will
Yes.
look the same. It might function behind the scenes a little bit differently, but
Yes.
awesome. That is excellent.
And also you can one small thing I want to mention, like the spacing between the elements, the spacing between the block values, it's not perfect per se, but it's just changing a single value. So maybe if you can access the code itself, you can just change and compile it. Like it would be a one line fix.
Yeah,
And
I
it will.
still haven't managed to compile the code.
Okay.
So years, I don't know, in maybe 7, 8 years, I think I might be able to manage to do that.
You know, formatting your laptop is still not an option. It's always open.
So Shashma, just to understand, you've managed to code exactly what Christoph designed with those little incrementations broken up. Whoa, nice. The biggest challenge in your development career. I'm really keen on seeing this.
Yes, it was. Like it took me a month, more than a month, to get it done on the final result. And I think I have to still go a long journey ahead because
Amazing.
it's still low level, right? So I have to first of all find how to get rid of all the low level things that I have done. All they are kind of hacky, you can say, not hacky per se, but like they could be misused if not correctly handled. So I have to get rid of all that part. By the way, I posted an image. How to share it with you?
Share in the chat here.
You okay? Let me share the link. You can just see it on the GitHub as well. Mm, how can I? I have to get a MacBook. It's just so convenient in Apple to Apple Universal Clipboard. Until then, I have to go all the hacky way.
I mean, first you make things work at all, and then you clean them up so they work
Yes,
nicely, right?
yes. But what if in that cleaning process you realize that your foundation was wrong as well? Now
Oh,
you
that
have to start from
happens.
scratch.
That happens. But then in the future, you will know how to set up the foundation, right? So,
Yes. Okay. Yes, that's the point. Tum, 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 tum. Yes, finally. It's a link. The second has come by me. The big image.
mhm.
Second to last image. Okay.
The black one. The image in the black background.
Yeah, I see it. Ah, here we go.
Looks good now.
Yes. Introduces the block club. Okay. Yep, I see it.
The spacing is currently kind of not optimum. The
Mhm.
spacing is
Yeah.
kind of bigger in the actual image, but it's like changing a single value and just experimenting with how it looks.
Mhm.
It's a very small thing, but
Nice. Oh, isn't that cool, Christoph? Seeing something you design in that it's actually in code form. That it's wow.
Yeah, really nice. Can't wait to try it out. There's some other spacing stuff with the text and whatnot, but I think
Okay.
we'll get to that.
Okay, okay. Spacing is also off. I didn't realize that.
No, I'll take a look at it. I'll give you some feedback, but it's yeah, you just focus on the important things like moving things a little bit. That's a minor tweaking, but it
Okay.
looks really good.
Nice.
Awesome to
Thank you
see.
very much.
Well done. Very nice.
It works. The biggest thing is it works. And so means like kind of proud of myself, to be honest. Like not brag too much about myself, but still like
No, that
finally it
is
works.
awesome. Yeah, you should be. You can be.
Thank you. And I think it should be building now. Like yesterday, I posted my branch, but because of some values, like because the naming was not correct, the branch was not able to build without doing some changes in the code. But now I just posted like 22 minutes ago a new update. So let's see. Let's hope it works.
Yeah, I'm looking at the code right now.
Yes.
Cool. Awesome. I'll take a look at that. Also, very cool. Awesome. Okay. Do you,
So, how is
as
Johnny?
a group, want to keep talking about the block clock, or should we move on to other topics?
We can. But just one question. Do you know Harold is joining on the meeting or not?
I'm sorry.
Harold is joining?
No, there was something with his flight or so. You can see his flight's delayed by a few hours. So
Oh,
he'll be
okay.
in the air during the call.
Yeah, he's in the air at the moment.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Yeah. Cool. Super
That's fast.
cool. All right. What else do we have to talk about? So Joshua, you mentioned you talked about you wanted to start implementing the wallet creation.
Yes.
Um,
At least the starting windows. Like what would happen as soon as the you are done with the onboarding views, the next screen that would pop up.
Yeah, so let me see. So one of the things is that I think the onboarding will change. So let's take a look here. We start with the app in general. Then it says strength in Bitcoin. Nothing has changed here. Like this is, Then typically we start with the block clock, but I actually move the wallet first. Like store, send, and receive Bitcoin. This application supports single key, multi-key, view only, all of this stuff. Because the wallet features, once they're in, they'll probably be more likely the kind of primary selling point for people.
Yes.
And then it goes over to the block clock. And since the block clock is not the primary element in the UI anymore, it's like a secondary thing. It's still important to talk about it, especially because it affects the initial experience so much, but it can come a little bit later.
Right.
Then no changes here really. Then we go into the initial download that's as before, and then you're basically in the UI. But you don't have a wallet, so you cannot access, send, receive anything yet because you don't have a wallet yet. So you're basically on. This is your only screen that you can be in. And then I changed it from create wallet to add wallet because it can be import or creation.
Yep, absolutely.
And then there's the type of wallet choice. And I wrote some copy here for this one. So you're about to create a single key Bitcoin wallet. You can control it fully in this application, which is different for multi-sig, where you would need or external signer, where you need something else to control the wallet. It's stored locally, and you can protect it with a password. Just very quick main points about this. Then I broke it up, what Michael had, into Michael's latest one was this one here. where it just gets a bit busy. He also had cancel here. We can add that if we want to. I didn't add it for now, but basically just wallet input. I think it's fine. And then tells you how it will be stored. And then the password screen is a little bit more involved.
Yeah.
And instead of asking you, I removed the toggle, do you want to protect it or not? We basically take you to fill in your password, and you can skip it if you want.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then there's an explanation what the password does, and then how to create a secure password. And then there's a checkbox here that says I wrote it down, and instead if I lose it, I will lose access to the Bitcoin stored in this wallet.
Very nice.
And then I added these hide toggle thingies in here. And then if you skip, then you get a modal like this. Without a password, third parties may be able to access your Bitcoin via the wallet file on your hard drive. You can still add a password later. And then you either go back or you skip password. So it just breaks up this screen here into two. And then it also avoids some of these.
Backing up screens. Absolutely eliminates those ones. Nice.
So save wallet backup. That one, I didn't think about it too much, just added some text here.
Yeah.
So wallet file and skip. And then here in wallet was created, I added some text. Block download is still pending. You can already create addresses and receive Bitcoin. Your balance will not be current, and you will not be able to send until completion. Download complete in an hour 27 or something like that, right? Then we go to continue, and then I'm here in this wallet screen. So that's just where I landed on my last revision. And one of the things I was looking at is how we can use just this little thing here to show the status. I think it works pretty well. It could maybe have an outline here. So there was another thing I looked into, which was.
So Christoph, like when the IBC is done, the downloading has been completed, so that text and the ETA message would disappear, right?
It just disappears, yeah.
Okay, got it.
So that would be just like the balance on the left. I turned this into a component here too. Go to new components. You have these different states here. It's similar to this component. It just updates based on what's, what the state is of the application. So I was actually just working on creating a component for this one too, but I didn't get around to it.
Design look awesome, and by what I observed, like the single stick flow has been completed from the wallet creation till getting password and all the things, and finally getting the wallet displayed.
Yeah, I mean, it would be good to. So I don't want to just override Michael's work here. So I don't know, he said at some point that these are just kind of not too final, but he has a bunch of different. So there's this element here that it's like a big box that says it's not completed. Then here it says the same thing again, that it's downloading. And then here it says again that the wallet's empty. So there's some other elements and ideas here that we can also look into, and we can find. Yeah, it looks like he introduced a new color here too. Yeah, so there's some stuff that we should talk through that may not have been intended.
So Christoph, would you suggest me to get to implementing these designs now, like I think sometime? Or should I wait till they're finalized?
So I would not today or the next couple of days, I would not start implementing. I would review them carefully and plan out the implementation and think about the different aspects of it, and then provide design feedback. Ideally, the design and the implementation is one-to-one, but I'm sure when you consider the detailed implementation, you will have thoughts on stuff that just will work or will not work, and that we have to update.
So let me first keep reviewing this design in my first priority. now.
I'm sorry.
Keeping the designs. Now, first of all, my priority should be to review these designs like on a practical scale and what I understand about it all. Are they is something missing or not?
Yeah, think about each one. It might also be helpful to think about how to split it up in components. So, for example, this component here, and I don't know if you want to, if you're gonna build it, create similar components in QML or not. Like this is a basic mobile screen header, which is used in a ton of pages, and you can just configure it differently. And I don't know, maybe that's something you also want to
I think
do.
we have also designed very similarly the components. Like
Yeah.
by seeing this, I'm imagining the header component, which has header, sub description, and a subtext. And we can also add like a component, and then it would create a component.
Yeah. So it's used in this screen here. It's used in this screen. It's used here. It's used here. I mean, it's very intentional that there's such consistency.
So, Christoph, the current screen that you are on is your workspace on the main Figma file, right?
Yeah, that's the Christoph workspace. So in our design call tomorrow, I think we should, maybe I can again talk about my iteration and Michael can talk about his iteration and we can go through the advantages and disadvantages.
Okay.
Yeah.
And just one more thing, like where I can find the components, all the components that you have created.
I'm sorry?
The components in the Figma that you have created,
Yeah.
where I can find those.
So whenever you see, I don't know if you can see it here. Whenever you click something here in the sidebar, you see the layers.
Mm-hmm.
And the layers that are components are purple.
Okay.
And then you can control right click on it. And in the menu, like 2/3 down, it says main component, go to main component.
Actually, you know what? I might have experimented with seeing it myself, but for some reason Figma is not able to load it on my laptop.
Okay.
Maybe an issue. It's just loading and loading and loading. So
Put some good questions underneath here as well.
So when you go to the main component, that's when it will take you to that one. There you can see a lot of the different variations.
okay.
But we can also talk about it. For example, the top bar here is also a component. This one here at the top. And you can just say, do you want a title or no? Do you want a left button or not? It's just a very standardized piece here.
Christoph, I had a question about the onboarding use. After the what has been implemented, do you think it would be a kind of a optimum idea to keeping the information about the block lock as in the when the person is getting on board? Like at the end of the day, this is just for the aesthetic purpose, right? It doesn't kind of serve that. It serve a practical use, and you know that how long has it been since your block has been since last block has been found or not on your node. But still, I think it's kind of on the it lies more of on the aesthetic side. So should we
Get rid of the
delegates
wallet?
suppose no,
Because
not
the
the
aesthetic
wallet,
part
block
is the most important thing.
Okay. Okay.
I think sorry, Christoph, another question to add in under the password section, because I know Gerald was a bit, is if we want to make the password optional. I don't know if, I like how you did it because I think it's really good to just let a user have the first transaction and then come back to creating the password. But I think I remember Gerald was a bit like, no, I think he was, no, we want them to create a password. So,
But let me answer Shashwat real quick,
Yeah.
whether to get rid of the block lock. So the main reason not to is that people can build the GUI without the wallet.
Okay.
And let's say, so you can run a node just on your phone or somewhere, and maybe you just
No,
like
just
to
one
do
thing.
the
I was
password.
not mentioning that we should get rid of block lock. I was saying, should we mention a screen on the onboarding views describing what block lock is and what it would do?
Yeah, so that's so there's I think we need to definitely explain the initial block download. because it will take hours.
Oh, right.
So,
Hmm.
but what we could look into is combining these two screens. Maybe we don't need both of these.
Yes, that's what I was thinking.
Yeah. So it says starting initial block download. You can always see the progress in this block log here, and we can combine those two. Maybe just like that. Done.
Looks perfect.
What is it? It's designed. Yeah, that's a good idea. Let me put a note. Do we still need to show this? Can we combine it with the screen? Yeah, that's a good one. Yeah, so that would be great feedback. Going through every single screen, thinking. I mean, that's what I do at least. Before I code anything, I just think about each one and what the components would be, and if the logic actually adds up. And I always end up making changes. Yeah, the password stuff. I feel like the password stuff. That's really, some things are pretty obvious, like wallet name, very easy. But the password security, that is more of a group consensus thing where we might have different opinions.
Yeah. I
Um,
have a question underneath here, just so we can just discuss it maybe tomorrow.
Yeah, I think it'd also be cool if we had some more unique symbols up here. They're kind of placeholders. These
Yeah, for sure.
little ones.
Harold just told me that branch still doesn't work. Not in the way at least it is intended to. So, back to drawing board.
That's when you're. It's
I
always
like
when
how
your
you
stuff faces reality. Sorry, Mo?
yeah, sorry. I like how you split up the two screens here because indeed having create wallet name as well as password on one screen is a bit much. I think it's more so because we want them to confirm the password twice. So I definitely like this. I like it that you asked them to. I wrote down this password understanding. If I lose it, I'm not going to install this wallet. Really nice. Um, I also like the text on this one as well. The regular wallet. You're about to create a single key Bitcoin wallet. You can fully control this. Wallet data will be stored. This is really easy to understand language. It's really nice. Really nice. Yeah.
And single key, that's the word we decided on, right?
I think so.
Yes, single key wallet, multi key wallets. Yes.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. Yeah, that's the screen before it says single key as well.
Sorry, Mo, you were. Oh yeah, you just came back to what you were saying earlier about the optionality of this one, of the password,
Yeah, I
and
think
whether it
it's,
should be called passphrase also, right?
yeah, good one. If we choose password or passphrase, we just have to make sure that we use that all the way throughout the copy. Yeah, nice job on the copy. I really like that.
Yeah, and actually here we need to figure out if
What's the difference between password and passphrase?
it's the
Like,
same.
yes,
Same thing.
they are interchangeable, right?
They are.
Yes.
At
Okay.
least I think so. I you know, if there's a different definition.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hi, this is Yashraj here. I think I left a bunch of copy related comments in Michael's workspace, and I think I referred to the passphrase password thing over there. So I think it might be useful to take a look at that maybe.
Yep. Good point. Yeah. I wonder if this is one of the if there's a technical specification somewhere where it's called passphrase. We'd have to look that up if that is just the way it is because somebody chose it a few years ago, or whether that's an actual standard.
I mean, I'm not sure if this helps, but the way I think about it, a passphrase consists of existing words in the English language chained together somehow, right? Because a password can be like 13 characters and alphanumeric, and it's gibberish practically. Whereas it is much easy to like remember, fix the money, fix the word, like something like that, right?
Mhm.
And then that is the passphrase, which is impossibly secure and very easy to remember, which is very different from a password per se.
Yeah. I think in technical terms it doesn't matter, and
Yeah.
I also like here it says please use a passphrase of 10 or more random characters or 8 or more words. So I think you can choose whichever one you want. So technically it doesn't matter. Um, but yeah,
Yeah.
I don't know. I can go either way.
Yeah. No, I think you are absolutely right. I think it does not matter. Technically, it just changes the way you think about it.
Yeah. Yep. Very true. Do you maybe know if capitalization matters here? I assume it does.
Um, like, uh, in what sense do you
Oh,
mean
if I
like
use
that?
uppercase and lowercase, curious if that matters.
Um, I would say that like my understanding is that yeah, I mean, it is case sensitive for sure, right?
Mhm. That's a good one. Let's ask. Oh, we need Gerald here in the file. Okay, we'll ask. I'll send a note after the call. I wrote it down, and then we can ask Gerald, and he can respond when he's back.
Yeah. I also left a bunch of other comments, which I think probably some of them are now redundant because you redesigned the flow itself, so the copy has changed a lot, and it looks much better now, very concise, and yeah. So for sure, but maybe just take a quick look at that, maybe.
Let's do it. Yeah, sorry. Some of them don't point at anything. Like Michael also has floating comments here where things have been moved around. I thought Figma things stick to where they were posted, but okay. General question: what's the best way to provide copy suggestions if I have several? To that one, I would just say directly comment on the text that you have suggestions for.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, you have copy of suggestions here. What do you think about following? It will be saved to your Bitcoin folder as wallet name.dat. So that one I actually intentionally moved to the wallet name screen because that way we can actually put the name that you typed in, right? Because if I see
Right.
this before, then I might think, well, my wallet's called Super Wallet, but then it'll be saved under wallet name.dat, right? Why not just make this statement right when you enter the name? Then
Yeah, sounds great. I think my one of my like thoughts around that was that I use the word Bitcoin folder instead of like your hard drive because it could be somewhere else as well.
yeah, that's a good one. And I'm also wondering if that Bitcoin folder could be a link that actually opens that folder, because otherwise,
That would be
how do you?
awesome. Yeah.
Yeah. Um, Okay, let me also take a note on that one real quick. Noted. Then you have the point about encryption, optionally recommended. Makes sense. And then warning: encrypting your wallet may not protect you from malware affecting your computer. Yeah, that's
I
true.
only I only included it because that warning is included in the existing Bitcoin Core application. So, and it does make sense, you know.
Yeah, I was when I was looking at that copy, I was wondering if we should have a fine print down here somewhere where we can just put all of this stuff, so we don't. Um, and we could put more copy down here, but so the top is maybe nice and simple. But then if somebody really wants to know all the details, they can just see it at the bottom. Maybe it's even smaller text or so.
So I definitely see your point around having, like too much copy. There is so much you want to tell people because in a sense, if it's like a completely new user, we probably want to change the way they think about like all these things. So we want to like talk about everything, but that ends up being too much copy for them.
Yeah, there's probably some, yeah, yeah, exactly. Something like this where the top is kind of nice and easy, but then you do get all the good tips down there.
Yeah, I think one of the issues here could be that because we are trying to make a single application, I think for like mobile devices and for desktop, like some of the warnings might be different. Like for example, the hard drive raising, like that might not even be relevant on like an iPad or something, right? But it is very relevant on the desktop.
Yeah, I can, yeah, that's true. I don't even know where. I mean, I assume even on an iPad or so, it would store them locally somewhere. But yeah, you might phrase it differently.
Yeah, I think it is technically possible. Like, I'm sure people do it, but like the way most people would like run a full node is probably use a external SSD, right?
Yeah,
Because who has 1 terabyte fully space? So
yeah, that is true. Okay, let's look at your other comments. Michael, yeah, we should. We have like comments from 2 months ago. We should kill those, or not kill those, but address them.
Yeah, there's a
Michael
lot of
had a
things.
thing.
yeah, sure. But I do love the fact that Figma allows us to do the commenting because that is how I've been trying to get up to speed with what's going on because I'm just reading every comment in the Figma file, every issue in GitHub and all of that. So because that like documents, so it's quite useful for sure. Like I like how in Google Docs you can like resolve the comment. I think that does not delete it because like that might be useful in the future maybe.
Yeah, they do have that here. So there's a little tick box here where you can resolve them.
Oh, okay. Does that delete the comment? Like you can just write on that one.
So
Oh,
I feel like I think you can see resolved comments somewhere, but I don't see it at the moment.
Yeah, that's
Show
normally
resolved
Google.
comments. Here it is. Yeah,
Okay.
and you see a little tick box.
Alright. Yes, that's awesome.
Yeah, and I think fairly soon we should move. Once we settle on things, we need to move them into the design docs and in GitHub, because that will also get more people exposure, and it will document it differently. Because all the comments here, they disappear. They're basically gone after a bit. Getting them outside of Figma will be helpful. Yeah, once the designathon's sorted out, there'll be a little bit more time to do those things. Right now, running on very little time here. Okay, cool. What else did we want to talk about here with onboarding flow? Really curious how we can combine what Michael and I did. Joshua, did you already have any questions or thoughts about implementation right now?
Not currently. Like for the implementation, I think it would be very similar to how the onboarding views were implemented. So like if I've been having some ideas in my head, so we would be going in a very similar approach where we'll be using loaders and components as they are kind of defined in the onboarding views right now. So it feels like it would be kind of a straightforward process, but let's see how it goes.
Yeah. Yeah, you might have similar things where you have to figure out how you technically make these things happen,
Right.
whatnot.
Yes.
So how about you do this design review and you do all kinds of questions, and then we settle on something, and then we export the thing that we settled on to the design docs. So
Okay.
basically, the design docs becomes our source of truth for this implementation, and that way, you don't get any surprises where you show up in Figma and like stuff's messed up
Right.
for
Yes.
whatever reason. You
Yes.
know.
Like I'm implementing a screen and between like after half an hour the screen is gone, something color has been changed. No,
Yeah.
okay, got it.
Yeah. So once we settle things, we need to move them to the V2 wallet page here, and we need to put them in the design docs. And
Yeah.
yeah.
One point which maybe we can discuss tomorrow as well is looking at the I'm in Michael's workspace now,
Mhm.
and he has the initial download screen. I'm just over here, and it's interesting to maybe look at some explorations of showing, because I like how Christoph shows the time, because that is a clear indication of how long the user has to wait. But I also kind of like this here, this circle, just showing a little bit something visually. I don't know.
Yeah, that was also in. I also had the circle.
Maybe a combination of both. Yeah, there we go.
So the design for this icon is that it's meant to look like the block clock, just in
Yeah,
tiny phone version. And it's also
Oh,
meant to represent the same load status. So if you click on this, then you go to the block clock and you kind of see the same thing, just bigger with more detail.
right. Okay. Yeah, that makes sense.
I just kind of it makes sense to me like why it is like a small dot followed by a longer line, shorter line, because it's the Bitcoin icon, the main text, and the repeaters below it. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Nice. Nice.
Maybe you can render it in a really small way.
Yeah.
You know what just
That
happened
would
to
look
me
horrible.
visually? It's because Michael's one is in orange. My brain almost registered it more simply because of the color. And I actually noticed it more in the design than on your one. And indeed, you have exactly the same circle.
That's true. That's
You have
true.
exactly the same circle. My brain registered it more because it was in that orange.
Mhm.
And like after seeing this particular icon with the dots, a long line, a short line, I just now kind of understood why it is like this, the dot pattern. I mean, it's not as intuitive like as to link it to the original block clocks structure, because see now the repeaters, the dots, the five dots below it are will only be shown if you have full connection. What I'm trying to say is that it just doesn't kind of map one to one to this small icon.
Oh,
It
yeah,
feels like.
it's simplified because like the connection dots, they don't even fit. They would be too small.
Yes,
It's
true.
just meant to be the icon and the two lines of text that
Yes,
we have
yes.
there. Yeah.
But I guess if you go with the color scheme of the how block actual block looks, it would be more of a connection, direct one to one connection in the minds of user.
Yeah. Yeah, I'd like to look into that further. I haven't spent a lot of time on it because it would also be nice if it reflected the connecting, paused, all these different states somehow. Probably not the exact same way that the big one does because it just doesn't work. But it would be cool if it was very obvious that those two are meant to be the same thing and they also have the same states and you can understand them. Like right now it's paused, right now there's no connection, right now it's loading or syncing, right now it's up to speed. Becomes an obvious thing. Would be nice.
Like I just have a random idea. Like for the connecting, the mini block could look like just pulsating, slowly pulsating clock without any progress bar. Slowly pulsating.
I was wondering, I never know if people like pulsating stuff or not.
Like it's so subtle. Like if you just if you will observe it when you see it, not it would not be disturbing you and kind of attracting your attention. Then it might work.
The blink
No, it's
tag.
not.
No,
No.
it makes me a bit nervous when I see pulsating stuff on any app.
It's so slow, it's so smooth that you would like. Like you just want to switch off the connection and see the connection and then it blocks.
Yeah, it's more of
pulsating.
a calming pulse.
Yes, it's calming. It's like meditation.
Yeah.
Seeing block get connected.
Christoph, I'm sorry, I literally need to see that in orange. Let me just go to it now. Where are you? You are here.
Yeah, let's make an orange version here.
Orange. Just
There you go.
Figma is powered by Adobe. I just came to know like 1 week ago. Figma bought Adobe.
But
no, that's the wrong orange.
yeah, I made an orange version up there.
Oh, sorry, where are you?
Just right above.
Okay. It's green now? It's green, right?
There we go. Yes.
I mean, it's orange because the block locks. It's yellow because the block locks yellow.
That's the connection.
So
Okay.
orange is the for the top nav component. Orange is the selected color. Like whatever nav item selected, it's orange.
I'm just looking at some finer details over here as well. Is like this text here for personal wallets. Maybe there could be a little bit of a contrast in the two fonts here because I don't know, just something small.
So the color is actually different. There is a difference here. Balance pending is intentionally a little bit more gray because, and you'll see that here, because it's pending. It's like this is slightly disabled. But once the actual balance is shown, then it's stronger visually.
It's not just one more thing. When you change the color to the orange one in the navbar, the downloading and the estimated time are looking kind of off in the place. Some reason I can think of is that first of all, it kind of feels that the layout is the horizontal bar layout. If you draw a horizontal line, it just feels off because it's kind of above the sand. The sand is there and kind of below the sand ones. Like the layouting is kind of feels off. Second, when you just look on the screen like from a zoom out vision, it just makes the hierarchy where visual hierarchy where you should be looking on the sand button or on the downloading one. So it was not so apparent when the color was slightly different on the sand button, but now when the colors are same, kind of feels more on the face kind of.
Yeah, it's true. I mean, that's because this orange is the active state or selected state. So actually, when let's say you go to the block log screen, then it would be. And then, of course, I didn't finish that. There should be a line down here now also.
Maybe we can decrease some kind of size, like some kind of abbreviation instead of writing complete downloading. Maybe we might experiment with that as well, because giving so much space to this seems maybe too much.
Yeah, I
But
mean,
I might know.
yeah, it's the smallest font size that we currently have at 13. I looked into not even saying downloading, just showing the time. But I couldn't. This is the shortest that I came up with earlier.
How about ETA? ETA 1.27. 127.
Yeah, but you don't know what you're ETAing here.
Oh, that's right. Mm-hmm.
Pending, syncing, I don't know, downloading seemed like the most obvious thing. But yeah, feel free to make suggestions there. We can mock all of this stuff up. Clearly, this top bar is super important, so all the little details have to be right.
So just to make sure, like Christoph, I can go kind of crazy with the comments, right? I just can throw my thoughts out there.
Yeah,
It's cool, right?
yeah. Part of my job is to listen to all the feedback and visualizes and give it back to you so you can respond to it.
Like one thing I can just see now. Yes, sir, just one second. Just one more point, and you can take the stage. Just one more point. Like currently, I'm seeing the navbar, and it feels kind of overwhelmingly providing too much information for now. Maybe I'm just overthinking, maybe, but it feels like there is too much information on a single bar of line, and then the rest of the space is empty. But we might experiment with. You also designed the Monero one, right? Monero's
Yep.
one. In that you provided a big section, a kind of 1/4 of the screen to the wallet balance only, and it, if I remember correctly, no, it was also on the navbar.
Yeah,
It
there's
was
a
something
sidebar.
different. It was yes, it was
Monero has a
yes,
sidebar, and there's a
yes,
big
it was
card.
on the
It looks like
sidebar.
a
Yes,
credit
yes,
card.
yes.
Yeah.
So it looks kind of different from the navbar one. So it was not kind of mixed in the navbar. Now maybe something like that we can also do it here, where it's not overwhelmingly providing too much information on a single line.
Yeah, so it does get a little bit busy when you have this downloading thing left, and the reason is because it's downloading. You can't really do anything else yet. So ideally, after you're done, here's kind of another variation of it with a bit of a background. After you're done, it should be simple. It's really just in this initial thing, and that's why I also looked into other approaches like not this one, like instead having this little thing here inserted that would be at the top of the different screens. But I mean, either way, if we want to keep people informed, actually, another thing that I looked into was let me see. So, so just having really small text down here. So
Okay.
I looked into a few different options, but yeah, it's gotta go somewhere if we want to show it.
I like it having kind of this fixed place in the top right corner because it kind of keeps the other screens very neat and tidy.
Yeah, and once it's done, this text goes away. It will just be this icon here.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Like
Yes, sir. You want
go away.
Yeah. So I really love it when like everyone has so many ideas and thoughts at the same time because but one thing I was worried about when I was looking at that icon and the text, like we were having so many interesting ideas around that. One thing I was worried about is like mm, do we want that little icon and those three words over there to do so much heavy lifting as the block itself? I mean, the user might not even think about it that much because it takes like 5% or 2% of the real estate on this screen. So how about instead, like if the user had the ability to click on that icon and be taken to the block lock and they can see all the information.
Yeah, totally. That's what happens. This is a regular menu option down here. and it takes you to the block log screen, which
I think
is
that makes sense. That makes sense.
Uh, and like in terms of if we want to convey more information, like uh, I can see that we are already using colors to do that. So like instead of changing downloading and like using words, we can use colors. Like to say if it is stored, it becomes a neutral color. And like instead of saying downloading or whatever, we just write 1 hour 27 minutes or whatever, and then the color of the icon signifies what's happening.
So like colors would signify the major states of the block log.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So that might be an elegant way of saying it. Like
yeah. I mean, if you use color coding, people always have to know what that means.
yeah,
I
Why
think
do they have
you
to?
can keep it on the obvious side. Like for example, for the connecting, it would be just same as the background color of the original block log, the grayish one, the grayish color, to show that there is no kind of progress happening, and that means it's connect. Okay, I think I can understand what kind of problems could occur here. Like, is it connecting or is it paused? Is it paused or it is something else? So this kind of confusion might arise with the color coding.
yeah. On that note, Christoph, like after you explained how the icon really came to be about, right? So it all suddenly made a lot of sense to us. But like before that, like I could not understand that. Like I did not realize that it meant that. So maybe we could like repurpose that, real estate to do some to convey some other information, like the pause, like something like a pausing icon or like three
Oh
dots.
yes, for the pause we can just move to a double
Yeah,
statement instead of the three dots, three symbols.
I'm sorry. Can you say that again? What pausing?
Like
yeah.
yes, Raj, you can say.
Uh, so yeah, so for example, if the download has been paused, we could change to two vertical lines, right? That's the
Yeah.
universal this thing. And if the download is like happening normally, maybe we could have the Bitcoin icon there, and it like just indicates. Or so how about like you have so many icons right there, right? So you have one for the Wi-Fi is off or whatever, right? So just use them.
Pause.
Yeah, that's what I wanted to do. I wanted to see if we can capture all of these different states somewhere in a small icon. But it's obviously different. It's not so simple, right? To pack
Yeah,
so much
but
information into a small little.
Christoph, I think we can.
Yeah.
I have some ideas.
Okay,
Shall I
let's do
share?
it. I also have
Okay.
ideas. This would be really cool if we can do it.
Uh-huh.
So I think it's worth investigating. But like I said earlier, I started messing with it and I just didn't have time for it yet. But it'd be amazing if we could make that happen. And it's like the mini clock and the big clock, and maybe if there's a mini clock, it could also work as it's like in the dock or so, the application dock or somewhere else. Um, I think it'd be a great addition.
These look great. I like this as well.
These one are awesome. Like, it's so beautiful. So like this dog, okay, for the mini block now. First of all, taking the premise what Rasha has mentioned,
Mhm.
that we are not going to overburden that small block log with too much information, and it would just be an indicator of as minimum information as needed. And when you just click on the small block log, it would take you on the main block log. Now, for the connecting, we can go with either very slow pulsating or maybe same as this thing, like this bar moving like it's connecting. Since it is same with the original block log, it would be easily understandable. For the downloading, it's also simple. Just you can just we can just keep it load keep the progress bar as much as the downloading has been completed. For the block time, the third state, the real block log, it's kind of maybe just a full block log with no information, like a
Yeah.
full dry block log. Okay. For the pause, a double bar, double vertical bar. double vertical bar, and all the pause state would be the same. Double vertical bar. The reasoning, if you want to reason, if you want to know the reason why it is paused, you can just click on it and go to the main block log to know if it is what's the reason of the pausing of the block log. And for the error, we can go with a red icon because we want users' attention to go on that.
Or an
error.
exclamation point could in there too.
Oh yes,
Yeah.
exclamation as well. Exclamation would work as well. Yes.
And so I think that's great. It doesn't help with telling the download time. Like here, downloading 12
Yeah,
minutes.
for
I think
download
that's a
time, I think
separate-
we have to mention ATA in some way. We have to mention ATA.
you know,
Yes, this one.
But
this one works.
how about I just put together like 10 different versions or so. If you have things you want me to mock up, I'll create a nice sheet with all the different variations of them, and then we can get a bunch of feedback on them.
Christoph, I had done some work with Figma as well, but I never used components in my life.
Yeah.
If I had some experience with that, I would just kind of just implement my ideas on the paper instead of you doing that.
I mean, you don't have to worry about
how
the,
to use components.
you don't have to worry about the components. If you just want to like mock up a few different things, just create a new file or duplicate this file and just do what you need to, right? And then we'll worry separately. Once the design is decided, then we can worry about the components.
Okay. So I shall experiment with decomponenting all the elements and just placing them one by one. The
up
way
here,
I used to do.
you can duplicate this file,
Okay.
and then you can trash that as much as you want. You can do whatever you want with it. It's your duplicate file. Just be careful with the original.
Okay. We should keep kind of a backup for the original because it's so easy to just get out of all the data. Do you have some kind of backup for it itself? Like a secret?
Yeah, I try to regularly do a backup. I made one recently. Well, I'll just duplicate it, then I put the date in there. There's also like a kind of poor history feature where you could reverse things, but it's not that great. Yeah.
It might be again one of those features that is locked behind a paywall, something like that.
Yeah, if you have an enterprise account, you get better history
Yes,
features
I know that.
and branching and stuff. We just have to become an enterprise then, I guess. Okay, cool. So that is a big task for me. I'm going to write that down in my notes here. Mock up 100 versions of the mini block clock and block clock menu item in the top left bar. Okay, cool. Got that.
I think I will only update the user flows after our phone call tomorrow, which is at what time?
1 p.m. Central
1 p.m.
Standard Time.
11.
I
What's
think.
that? 11 or 1?
Do we have a
No,
call tomorrow?
I think it's 11 UTC, 1 p.m.
All right. Okay.
European Central European Standard Time.
Cool.
Yes, it is at 11 degrees.
Yeah. Okay, cool. Sorry?
Yeah, we're at the end of the hour now, so.
Just one more thing to stop before I try to work on this mock-up. For the mini block log, for the error, would you also suggest to change the color to a red one, like as a warning, as something you should focus on, or just a single exclamation mark would work without changing the colors?
Let me see. I guess it depends what the error is, but
Both errors are as big as thing because system block. Because if there is error, that means there is some kind of problem user has to look up, or at least have to know.
I would just mock up both of them and just see what works better.
Okay.
I'm wondering if we're gonna have other errors and other stuff too that will. Yeah, I don't know yet. Because the thing is, if you put an error symbol up there, people might not associate with a block log. They might think there's something general wrong with the application or so. So
yeah.
Usually it's a thing, right? If you see an error message, you just try to click on it to know what it is.
Yeah.
And as soon as you would click on it, it would take you to the block log. So the moment of confusion would be a very small one.
That's true. Yeah.
So if they click on that error, then they'll get a message pop up saying what the error is about. Is that kind of the idea?
Well,
No, it would just.
You're still there?
I don't know what happened to Shashwat's connection, but I'm happy to jump in.
Yeah.
Yeah, uh, like it seems to me like the more consistent behavior might be uh, take the user back to the lock every single time.
Yeah. Yeah. And then below the block
But
log, there can be a description of what the problem is and how to
Yes.
fix it.
yeah,
Christoph,
yeah,
also I think a red color would work because in all the design scheme, especially in the block law, we have used the red to mention that it's not yet confirmed or it's something you should take care of.
Yeah.
And that way. Right.
Deal. Okay, cool. I have got a few things to do for.
These
Hopefully, I can do
feels
it for
like less of
tomorrow.
a design discussion and more of kind of philosophy or psychology discussion. Like you're just getting into the psyche of what being a human is.
Yeah, but that's what design is about. Right? It's
Yes.
matching that with the technology and creating something that works for people,
Designing
but
is
also works for
psychology
the
with art.
machines. Sorry.
Like if I can put it into words, designing is like psychology with art.
Okay, I have to think about that.
Okay, guys, I'm jumping off this philosophical discussion.
Okay, I'm gonna
yeah.
stop the
One
recording real
last
quick.
thing.
Go ahead.
Sorry to interrupt, Christoph. One last thing, Mo. I know that you are probably looking for some help on the Blixt case study. I'm not sure what that is or how I can help, but if I can help, I'd be happy to do that.
Yeah, for sure. I can message you. You're also known as Yashraj, right? I think I've messaged you on Snap.
Yeah.